Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Wall Street Reporter's CEO interview, an exclusive with NexTech AR Solutions. Stock symbol is NEXCF. This is one of our next Superstock Conference presenters. As all of you know, I'm speaking today with CEO Evan Gappleberg. Evan, welcome.
Hey, Jack. Good to be back.
Evan, it's always a pleasure to have you back. You always have major news announcements, which are great for the stock. Obviously today, a lot of stocks are getting crushed with this coronavirus.
Yep.
I mean, the last 3 days, the market is down. What is it? I think we're down a couple thousand points.
Yeah.
Now, what I find interesting is that the NexTech, the AR technology, some of your tried-on technologies is really. I mean, it could be like a great solution for people who are worried about the coronavirus in terms of they don't have to, go shopping. They can try on the products, items
Yeah.
with their phone.
Well, it's a tragedy, that people are dying in the world, and that obviously this big disruption with coronavirus. It's true. I mean, if you don't want to go out and shop, where there's lots of people, you're going to stay home and shop. And augmented reality makes that experience even better. Obviously, we also have, a couple of e-com businesses as part of our business segments, and those businesses are doing very well. They're not disrupted at all by what's happening in China with the supply chain. Our products are made in USA or Germany, so we've had zero disruption, and our business is very strong and getting stronger. Obviously, because we just signed up, 4 new customers. So, we're super excited about our business, and just to put a little perspective on things, Jack. I've been around since 30 years now on Wall Street, and when you go back in time and you look at these exogenous events like the Gulf War. In
Right.
1990, I was there. I remember they were talking about Saddam Hussein, burning the oil fields in Kuwait, and the world was going to be engulfed in this, black smog for decades. And it didn't happen, right? The worst fears didn't happen. Obviously, some bad stuff has happened. I was there for 9/11 in Manhattan. I ended up selling my apartments. I had 3 apartments in the city at that time. And I was so depressed, I sold them. That was a bad financial decision. I was emotional, right? But I've learned from all that. And, as time went on, 1998, you had the Asian contagion, in the 2000s, you had
We had SARS again.
SARS, Ebola, bird flu. You had the financial,
Right.
crisis. I mean, if you just sat on your hands and did nothing, or went on vacation, and hit out somewhere and came back, you would be much, much better off than if you're, selling or trading your portfolio. So, I strongly urge investors to not get emotional. Don't sell your portfolio of stocks. Obviously, NexTech's included. Our business is stronger than ever. And we're unaffected by coronavirus.
I wanted to maybe just bring up one more thing before we kind of get into today's news, which really is I think very important, and I really want you to kind of articulate on today's announcement. But you mentioned that again, like people who are staying at home, they they might be bored. They're shopping on their phone, and again, the phone, the tried-on technology. I mean, it's actually, in a way, it is actually entertainment.
Yeah.
It's shop-attainment, I think they call it. It's like, but we had an analyst on one of our smart money, on the smart money part of our section, an analyst from Cabot, and she mentioned Netflix as one of the stocks which is, not going to be affected by coronavirus because it's entertainment. They don't have a supply chain issue. People are staying home, so this could be, this might push adoption of NexTech's, the tried-on AR technology for consumers.
Well, you bringing up an interesting example. So Netflix, if you remember, You used to get the CDs delivered to you in the mail. And then, when broadband technology took off, Netflix turned into, streaming technology. You no longer, get a CD. It's just
Wait, Evan,
always
some people in the audience may not know what a CD is, so just maybe
the little discs that you
shiny
pop.
disc.
Yeah, the little shiny discs. So I think everybody knows what they are. But the net of what we're talking about is that NexTech is about to launch our new Capture AR technology, which, by the way, we're renaming as AR Ties 360. But for the purposes of this, we'll just still use Capture AR. So our Capture AR technology really is like the equivalent of, getting a CD delivered. Right now, we have product that gets delivered to our offices. We use the capture technology in-house to scan and create the 3D AR objects. But in the next 30 days, we're launching an app which is going to put the power of the creation of the 3D assets in the hands of billions of people. Basically, every smartphone on the planet will now have the capability to take a video in our app, in our AR Ties 360 Capture AR app, and we will be able to deliver to them a 360 AR asset. And so that is the kind of the equivalent of this broadband, shift, this paradigm shift from, our customers having to ship us product, and now they're not going to have to do that. They're going to be able to use their phone, save the money and time of shipping, and really have this on-demand capability, which is just like Netflix, on-demand, movie streaming, on-demand content creation with 3D AR assets. So it really is a game-changing technology, and we see it as opening the floodgates for NexTech to all the business, that's out there. So we're beefing up our sales force, we're beefing up our team, and kind of getting ready for the launch, which is the end of March.
So the big thing, I guess, from talking to you, and maybe I think it's important to people understand. I think the probably maybe the big kind of bottleneck in the adoption of using, the AR and using the WebAR and the new 3D ad network has been sort of up till now has been capturing the images into three, and that because they have to basically ship it to your studio essentially to get the captures.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now
Yep,
they could do it themselves with their smartphone, like
yep,
one of these.
exactly. So big companies that have unlimited budget have spent, hundreds of thousands and in some case millions of dollars creating in-house 3D capture equipment. But again, it's in-house. It's not portable. It only works inside their facility. And so, if you think about, scale, I mean, you can't get scale when you have to ship a product anywhere. Like it's just,
Yeah,
it's just much friction.
what I find interesting in a way also, it's like it kind of ties in what's happening with Shopify and everything else, where essentially with your with the new Capture AR technology, you're really enabling any small business to be able to like really get all this get this stuff done, like just like Shopify makes the e-commerce easier
Yep,
for, so it's the same
yep,
thing. And
yep,
also, like again, we going back to the smartphone thing, it's like back I don't know, 20 years ago people would take pictures with their SLR, the 35, what is it, 35 million,
or
and you had to
just,
worry that you only had 36 pictures on the roll, then you have to
yep,
ship it out to get
yep,
processed, wait to pick it up. And the
yep,
smartphone changes everything. People take a million you have a whole social media because of it. And
yep, yep.
with NexTech's new Capture AR, this is going to be really the same thing for e-commerce businesses.
It is, and it's not just e-com. I mean, let's be clear. We're able to capture core samples for mining companies. We're able to capture large equipment. We actually just got a reorder from one of our clients, Sand Separation Solutions. They have this monster piece of equipment. It's like 40 feet long, and we turned it into, an AR experience. And so they're able to take it to trade shows and show, in their booth, they might have a 10 by 10 booth. You couldn't fit this 40-foot long piece of equipment in, and obviously it's cost prohibitive to bring it in there, but now they have it in their pocket. They just take it out, plant it in their booth, and they're able to walk around it. And, it's a total game changer.
There's a lot of applications. I mean,
a lot of applications.
Yeah,
not just income.
Yeah, you mentioned, I think, the core samples, and I think one of your clients is the new science is Romeo's Gold.
Yeah.
And we work with a lot of mining companies, and these core samples. So basically, I mean, I think people can. I don't know if you can do a demo, if you can share your screen, but they can actually click a link and see how this works. I mean, essentially, for a lot of these mining exploration companies, they get these core samples, which are basically anybody who hasn't seen it, it's like just a tube of rock, and they have to examine it to see where the gold is, wherever the mineralization is, and what your thing does essentially, they're able to see it in 3D. And imagine if somebody now has a smartphone, they could be in I don't know, some jungle in the Pacific somewhere in the farthest corners of the world. They can use their smartphone to capture that core sample and pop it right to HQ, to their investors, whatever, their partners. It's massive.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do a screen share. Hold on a second, Jack, because I actually am able to pull up this. Let's see. Tell me if you.
Okay. I see you have. I'm on the screen.
You on my screen?
Yeah, I just see myself. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see the app opening.
Okay.
So anybody's watching, this is all live. This was not planned. Okay.
Yeah. No, this is totally live. So this is a high-grade vein sample from a 2019 discovery, JW West Claims, Northwest British Columbia, contains 71 ounces per ton of silver. So this is from Romeo's Gold. They gave us this sample, and we turned it into this 3D. And on my computer it's 3D, but if you're actually on a cell phone, it would be AR. And so this is unheard of. And again, we used our capture technology to create this. I'm going to show you. I have another.
But so really, the application is really to use on your smartphone, because then you can actually see it as like it's in your face.
Yeah.
Or in your environment, whatever, floating in the room.
Yeah. On my computer, so this is the core sample. On a computer, you get 3D views. On a cell phone, you get to see the AR. So this
it's like you can touch it, basically.
Yeah.
You can almost smell it.
Core sample, 2019 gold discovery, Northwest Ontario. Here's the gold. He circled it. And this is a core sample from a drill. I mean, the image quality is unheard of. I mean, this is photorealistic. And we're able to do this with our capture technology at scale. And in 30 days, we're going to be launching the app, and it's going to put the power in the hands of everybody. 4 billion devices globally. And we see that opening the floodgates for our business to really thrive. We're expecting big things to happen once we release the app. So that's coming. We're going to have early signups starting next week. So the first 1.0 version of the app, it's going to be a limited release just for 100 early signups, and then we're going to take feedback, iterate. There'll be a 1.1, 1.2 until it's perfected. This is new technology, and so it's going to be a rollout over the course of the next few weeks, and then next couple of months.
And
Super
now
exciting.
the news announced today the four new customers. Now this is one of them, Romeo's. Did they these four new customers? Am
No,
I
Romeos
correct?
wasn't new. Sorry, Jack. Sorry to interrupt. Romeos wasn't one of the four new ones. Romeos was just we just delivered these core samples, so we're just
Oh, okay,
showing.
okay.
Yeah,
So the new customers are they all using the new capture technology to
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And I can actually show you one of them. So Wall Kicks already has on their site. This is one of our new customers. This is Wall Kicks. Um, there it is. There's the button, View in AR,
Okay.
right? So you click on that again. On the desktop that I'm on, it's going to be in 3D, but there's the asset. And the idea is that you could put this up on the wall in your room. It's wall art,
Okay.
right? So if you have a 3D asset, it's not as exciting, but you can see again, the point of this is to
Okay.
show you the quality, to show you the photorealism of our technology using Capture AR. And so with augmented reality, you would put this on the wall in your house and see what it looks like before you buy it. And so that's, super,
Interesting.
super valuable.
Now, in terms of like the e-commerce, with the new Capture AR, how will the process work? Somebody downloads the app. How long would it take them, for example, to scan a sneaker?
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes. So
Okay.
basically, we're going to give detailed instructions. There's no special equipment, but there will be best practices, as far as lighting and background and things like that, right? So there will be best practices, obviously, for the best results. You follow the best practices, but you'll take your cell phone, you'll do 3 revolutions in video. So you'll video, the bottom, the middle, the top. So you capture all the different angles of the object, and again, it'll take you, 3 minutes, 5 minutes to do that. Depends on the size of the object, and then you're done.
Okay. It's very interesting. You showed this example of this sneaker. I guess it's like an artwork. But I mean, Evan, I'm sure you know about this. Like, there's a huge market now in this. Like, there's like a secondary market for sneakers, the collectible. There's like some of these collectible Nike sneakers are going for like thousands of dollars, and it's all
Yeah,
online.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
can imagine that some of these guys would be good customers for using this new application. I don't know if you've signed any of them up or if they're in the pipeline, but I think it's StockX, I believe, is the company that does this.
Yeah,
Or
we're talking to a lot of different customers and potential customers, but again, keep in mind, Jack, the end game for us is not to have boxes of sneakers coming into our office all day long, and boxes coming and going, and shipments of rocks coming and going, and garments coming and going. Just imagine, how complicated that is, right? When you're talking about thousands of products, which is what you need to get to scale, which is why our Capture AR app is so important and so valuable to us, because it eliminates all of that. And so, StockX will be able to scan their own, and keep in mind, Jack, we're not asking them to do anything new, meaning they're already taking videos, they're already taking pictures of all their assets for their e-com site. So
right.
we're just saying, take the video, use our app, and now you have a 3D 360 view, photorealistic, much better consumer experience, fully immersive, and a lot cheaper than what they're currently paying with their existing photography. It will be a lot cheaper.
It really, I mean, there really is, I mean, a clear metaphor for that, like, the Netflix example where, going from CDs to, the broadband, it really completely was a complete game changer. So this is really
Yeah,
opens up. What I think also now, the key thing though is you have this like complete system. So they capture, then they go into the WebAR. So you host, and that's where you're generating the revenues, the monthly recurring revenues.
Yeah.
And then you have the new online advertising network where they can even drive traffic to drive more e-commerce sales, right?
Yep, you got it. It's this red thread that really connects all the pieces of our business together. And the same goes for our e-commerce segments, is that we're now running 3D AR ads for our vacuum cleaner business. We're continuing to use our technology in our own businesses to create value for ourselves and also to be able to have use cases to talk about with new customers. So, yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I think it kind of, again, I hate to bring up this Netflix, but it's the same, almost the same thing where it really opens up. Like people, I remember on your Next Superstock, the last call, like there were some questions about, well, how come whatever online catalog only has, I don't know, 30 items in AR and not all 2,000? And
Right.
it's because it's of what was before this bottleneck. They
Yep.
weren't able to get 2,000 items. They had to ship them to you to capture. Now they could do it themselves.
That's right. And even the companies that have invested in their own infrastructure to build, their own equipment in-house to scan, it still takes them days on a single object to create it, turn it into an AR 3D experience. So it's even the companies, the bigger companies like the Kias and the Hows and the Wayfairs, and even Amazon, they're using 3D modelers to create this photorealistic view, and it's very expensive. And so they're only using it for the top selling high ticket items, right? It doesn't work for all their products. It's just they're never going to get a return on their investment is the bottom line, right? So with our capture technology, it changes all of that, where everything becomes ARtizable and everything becomes something that you could turn into a 3D asset. The cost goes down to literally a couple of dollars. It goes down significantly, and there's going to be no human interaction, and that really is the holy grail, right? Where if you can have the app do 100% of the processing using AR, using AI, machine learning, that really is the holy grail, right? But so when we launch our app, it's going to be, again, the 1.0 version, and then it's going to be the 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. We're going to be first to market, though, with fully functional capture technology that works for everybody on their phone. It's a really big deal, and we think the industry is going to stand up and take notice, and we actually think that e-com site owners are going to, start using it. Manufacturers are going to start using it, and there's just going to be this massive wave of business for NexTech. That's we expect that to start in the next 30 days.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like I think the key takeaway here is that investors who are looking like what's going to make NexTech really scale is this new capture AR. This has been the key. I think it looks to me like this is really the key for this mass scaling that you can do now.
It is, and just to be clear, either we were going to crack the code, or Apple or Google or Samsung was going to do this. I mean, we're not the only ones that are trying to crack this code. There's a bunch of apps that are out there today that do 3D scanning, but they have lots of flaws, and those flaws make their products not really suitable for photorealistic, e-commerce shopping experiences. They might work as a toy or, gaming or something, but they're not really functional for the mass market adoption. And so my point is that Apple, Google, Samsung, they're all trying to create what we have. And over time, there will be other capture apps on the market. I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. We believe that we're going to have the first mover advantage when we launch in the next 30 days. So it's important to understand, there's a race that's on. We're not doing this in a vacuum or in a bubble. So
at the same time, though, that your real revenues are really going to be coming from the hosting and also the ad network.
You're making a good point. So we don't care who wins the race, right? So
you would win regardless, basically.
Yeah, we win regardless. The more 3D assets and AR assets that are out there, the more demand there is for our hosting of the WebAR assets and for our 3D ad network, which is really where we make our money. This capture app is really a means to an end. We look at it as more lead gen. Yeah, it's going to generate revenue, but we see it as lead gen for NexTech, where anybody that downloads that app and creates a 3D asset, they're going to need to use it in some way, right? And so if they're not making the 3D asset on our platform, let's say Apple comes out with an app, or Google or Samsung, they have an app that does the same thing in the next 12 months or 24 months, that's good for us. Because again, more 3D assets means more demand for our AR and more demand for our network. So yeah, it's important to understand that piece as well.
Okay. Evan, I want to thank you again. Thank you for clarifying for investors exactly what this news means, and we'll look forward to having you back.
Thanks, Jack. It's been a long week so far.
Yeah. Now, well, the main thing is you look much better now. I know you had the flu a few weeks ago when we had you on the conference call.
I did.
And now you're 100% better.
In the middle of the short and distort attack, I had the flu.
Right, and then the battery, your battery crash on your computer during the presentation was. So we actually haven't posted that presentation because so we're gonna have you back. Anybody watching this, we're gonna have Evan back probably next week sometime. I think we'll do it next week. We'll have another live stream full presentation with you at 110% and everything else happening.
Super.
Thank you, Evan.
All right, Jack.